Along your travels in ATLYSS, I'm sure you've come across equipment of all kinds, some rarer than others. If you're curious how the Rarity system works and what the different tiers of loot are, even ones you may not know about, then you've come to the right place. We start our journey at the bottom, the Cosmetic tier. These are pieces of armor that offer no bonuses to stats and can't be enchanted, they just increase the options of what you're able to wear. Some cosmetics are harder to obtain than others. The Bun Host garb can easily be found in the Sanctum, while the Noble set requires you to gamble your heart out with Scrit. Also, you'll get an achievement for acquiring a cosmetic item. On to the first tier of equipment you start out with, Common. These items are especially weak in the early game and are mostly fodder for selling off, but some of the later game commons like the Serrated Longbow can still pack quite the punch. And if that's not enough, common items can easily be enchanted by my girl Vivian to maximize its potential. By enchanting an item, its rarity will be increased by a tier, in our case up to rare. Rare items aren't that hard to come across, even in the early game. That's because it's often common items will drop as enchanted, thus making them rare. It's around the mid-game you'll start to find loot that drop as rare naturally, like the Crypt Pounder you can find as a Catacombs boss drop, or at Scrits for 10,000 crowns. Only items that naturally spawn in as rare can be enchanted to the game's highest tier, Exotic. At the top of the food chain are the elusive exotic items. These are obtained either by getting your hands on an enchanted rare item, or through besting a high-level dungeon. No weapons currently spawn in as exotic unenchanted, but 5 pieces of armor do, such as the Geistlord Eye. Unlike these lower tiers, naturally exotic loot can't be enchanted, so their stats are what you get. Come here, I want to tell you a little secret. What if I told you there's actually a tier of rarity above exotic? It's true. While you may not be able to legitimately enchant your exotic items, nothing is stopping us from popping open our save file and manually upgrading our item up to a whole new tier, Legendary. Legendary seems to be a currently unused tier of rarity, meant for endgame items that we can sample for ourselves with a bit of black magic. There's only one caveat to these items. If you drop it, they will immediately be reverted back to exotic, so you can't trade them with other players. If you'd like to try this out yourself, it's as simple as adding the enchantment you'd like on this line here. I've told you about the 5 tiers of rarity, but what about another even more mysterious one? The items within this tier serve no practical use, yet the fact they even exist is still fascinating. I'm talking about what I dub the Unobtainable tier. Unobtainable items are ones buried in the game files, ones meant for development purposes or were scrapped game mechanics that can't be obtained without editing your save file. For armor we have the Test Pants, Test Shirt, and the Test Ring. These were meant to test the functionality of these items and if texturing worked. There was a point in time where you could have legitimately obtained the Test Ring by playing during the alpha of ATLYSS. Also, you can still enchant these with save file editing, but it's not very useful. And there's a scrapped item called the Bronze Arrows, originally meant to be used as ammo for the bows. They're the only item that stacks up to 999 and have no use besides being handed out for fun. Now then, I believe we've covered all of the rarities in ATLYSS, how they work, and how to get them. If you've got any questions or comments, you know where to send them, and please consider subscribing if you want to see more content like this. That's about it. See ya.